Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Mount River Duel between Super Pershing 1945 playing as 8th US and he's going up against Verus also playing 8th US. So we'll cover the decks. It's pretty interesting given that there's two 8th US players. We'll see what they've done differently. Then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments and the game, and as always timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Super Pershing and Verus. They're both playing the same division, so it's a bit of an interesting one. I might as well go through like one tab by tab and then the other, but there'll be a bit of repetition. Eighth is a div I was playing a lot and then I stopped. But I'm trying to get back into it. I recently played it in a tournament game. So that's my deck, and then we'll go through this one. So first things first, in 1v1 I don't really think you need a Hilo CV. On a map like maybe Chandra, the new one, that's quite big. Maybe, sorry, a Hilo supply, maybe that can work. But in general, I think you're alright with just that. 3 cards of supply is nice on this div because you gotta heal your heavy tanks, and you gotta fire your artillery, and you got, repair and infantry and so on. Can you get away with 2? Basically, this div wants to play long games, and mirrored matches tend to be longer games, so something to consider. In terms of CVs, I do like this one because you can buy 2 at the start for the price of 1 of these. The only issue is you lose unavailability. So we've got 2, 5, 7 CVs, which is all good. No tank CVs, which is interesting. And then, yeah, I would not bring this. Hilo CVs are not good. Infantry, so this is an Hilo-born infantry CV. So in terms of your CV options here, you can get these guys who aren't very good because they've got no rocket launcher or smoke, and they're 70 points. Or you can get this one, which has a rocket launcher and smoke, 6 strength, 50 points. Or you can pay 25 more points to get a DMR, smoke, and a recoilless rifle, which is pretty nice. But, like, you do really want this to be shooting? I think the main reason he's brought this one is because it can come in a helicopter. So you can get a CV in quite fast if you take some ground. There is merit in that. Like, obviously, a Hilo CV by itself is terrible. And the reason it's terrible is because I said so. So, because to cap the zone, it has to be landed, right? And then the enemy will see it land, and he will just arty where it landed. If it takes off and the zone's contested, you will just lose that zone. So it has to be there, and it has to stay landed for a bit to cap it. And so people see it coming in, they just chuck a jet at it, and it dies, right? Whereas this, you unload the guys, and then the guys can go run around doing whatever, and it doesn't matter if the helo dies at that point. So, yeah, I guess that's the idea. I do like the MP patrols. You should definitely be bringing it in the Humvee MP, which is a recent addition to this division on this unit. Because, yeah, you might as well have a military police vehicle. You can put it with your tanks to give your tanks additional suppression resistance. And it's only 5 points more than the regular one, so why not? In terms of... So you can run Engineer's Flash. I've sort of... Because I used to be, like, very, very against it. Something like Hand Flam Patron is rubbish. But I prefer regular engineers because they've got twice the HP. I always find that these guys just die when I'm not looking. I look away and they just die. And so what you have to do is run them with another squad in front of them, whereas these guys can basically fight by themselves. Obviously, if they run into 2 of these, they would lose. Or, 1 of these and 1 of the unit, they would lose. But, okay, if there were 2 of these, they'd probably still win, actually. Depending on, whatever. But the idea behind the flash is that you jump into the building or whatever, you shoot all 8 flash at them, and then you just leave. And they've taken quite a bit of damage, because it fires in salvos of 4, they'll lose a lot of cohesion, right? They'll take a lot of suppression damage. But, with an engineers, you run up to them, you throw the satchel, and then they take a lot of suppression damage, and you've got twice the HP. So this is a more forgiving unit. Then... yeah, so they're in an M113. This is your fire support, because you don't have auto cannons. M113s are quite useful. You could make the case that these guys should come in the truck and the other guys should come in the whatever, but you can do it either way. Rangers are nice. It is good to have a... You want an infantry unit with some AT. just in case something happens and you need to get it there fast, and this is that unit. And then we've got 2 cards of Mech Rifles Dragon. So between these and Mech Rifles Law, you're paying 10 more points. You're losing an availability, but you're getting a much, much better AT. This can fire in forests now, deep forests. It's been about 6 months since that change, maybe even a year. But yeah, since they made that change, like, this can fire in forests, so it's just a way better AT, but you do lose an availability, and it does cost 10 points more, so some people like to bring both. And you can also bring this with the dragon thing, which, I mean, it's slightly better than the standard one, I guess, but this range is not great, so it is what it is. And then we've got Ranger's Dragon in the Blackhawk, so yeah, it's good to bring one card, because the Blackhawk's got 10 points cheaper, which is a pretty big deal. Makes, you know, buying this 10 points cheaper, buying this 10 points cheaper, not 5 points, 10 points, it's a big difference. And yeah, the other option would be Air Cav Troopers, which at 1 vet you get 1 less availability, and you know, for 10 points more you get Special Forces and Shock and better machine guns, I believe, because the M249 can fire. You do lose rifle range, but you get a Dragon 2 instead, you know, so like, this is a 10-point difference, whereas this, you get 1 more availability, Special Forces, and Shock, and, you know, so it's definitely better than the Air Cav Troopers. It's just the other divs that get Air Cav Troopers don't have range, so... And then we've got ITOs, which are 5 availability now, and TOW2s, which are 3 availability, and they have been for some time. But yeah, the idea is you bring these in the cars so they can get there fast, the little jeeps. In terms of my inf tab, I've got I bring the regular Rangers in the Blackhawk and the Rangers Dragon in the Humvee, so the other way around. I also bring Mech Rifles Law, and I bring Fireteam AT4s, and I only bring 1 ATGM, and I don't bring the CV, so that's a difference there. And then Verus here, we might as well go through them one by one. So he's also got 3 cards of supply. He's not got the funky 2 CV, so he's actually only got 5. Never mind, we'll cover this last, otherwise it's going to mess up my timestamps in the description. So, yeah, artillery, this is exactly how I build mine. 2 M110s and the mortar for smoke. In terms of the options here, this one, you get 4 per card and it's cheaper, but the range is less, and the smoke clouds aren't as big, but it is 4 per card and it's cheaper, and it aims a bit faster, and it fires a bit more. I personally prefer this one, because it shoots further, which means you're further away from the counter battery, which means you've got more of a chance of surviving that way, but, you know, it's not that much of a difference, it's less than a kilometer difference. But yeah, I prefer the bigger one. And yeah, you want these, really, they're super good. If you can get 2 of them on a heavy tank, it'll just kill it. And the idea behind this div, and lots of divs get these, even though it says there's only 2, there's like a Dutch one, and yeah, there's a Dutch one. The idea is you get set up, and I didn't realise TKS got them, that was interesting. You get set up and you try and drag the game out for as long as possible, so these can snipe as many units as possible. Like, you can kill an ATGM in 1 shot with it if you get lucky. Tanks, so I do like the M60s. I bring 2 cards of M60s. So instead of the M1 Abrams, I would bring another card of M60s. But, you know, this is not bad for 200 points. As far as availability, it's super fast. Like, it literally goes 642. It will die in 1 hit to a 30 AP missile, which is every AT plane in the game, bar 2. But it's got the max range gun, it's got high accuracy, it's got high fire rate. Although you'll notice that so it's got 2 more pen than the M60. And it's got a bit more armor. It can survive a Conker's side hit, the M60 can't. It is significantly faster. It's got an extra machine gun. But it is 70 points more, right? So, like, 2 M60s is 260. 1 Abrams is 200. So, I just cut the middleman out, and I just have you know, 2 cards of M60s and the rest, and then 2 cards of M1A1s, and then I think I bring this as well. So M1 CV. But, you know, it's up to you. I mean, I recently lost a game against somebody who was playing 8th, and he was using these. So, you know, I was playing 17Y, but anyway. So, Recon, Scouts in the ACAV. I do like my Scouts in the ACAV, because the ACAV's got this can one-shot 3 armor vehicles, mediocre stealth, good optics, 50 cal. It's nice for locking down areas, and because he's not brought this, which is also nice for locking down areas, you know, you use the ACAV transport. And we've got the LRS, which is the airborne forward deployment, which is very normal, and it comes in 100 kilometers now vehicle. So yeah, this is a nice squad. Then 2 cards of Bradley, so that's interesting actually. So you could bring another plane. So I think, yeah, that actually I think I only bring 2 fighters. Is that right? I should bring 4 really, but you're very slot limited. Yeah, so I bring the Weasel instead. And you see the 2 M60s, and I've not got this extra Bradley because I've got more infantry. Yeah, because I've got more infantry. So yeah, if you can do without filling this imp slot, then you can get 3 more Bradleys. I find I generally don't buy as many. Something like this is quite useful for just you buy a bunch of them at the start and send them all over the place to lock down areas. So that could replace this. But there's nothing wrong with having 6 of these. It's just if you've got 6 TOW2s, and do you really need 2 cards of ATGMs? Are you not going to run out of infantry? Maybe you don't, but yeah, maybe you don't, but you might want to consider getting rid of one of these ATGM cards so that you can get another infantry, either mech rifles law, or I think I bring Fire Team 84 in Humvee to cover flanks and stuff. Or you can even bring something like this at 1 vet, and then, you know, locked out, because if you end up on urban front lines, something like this is quite useful. But apart from that, it's not, so... Or you could just leave it like that if you find you're not running out of infantry. Or you could bring an extra bunch of tanks instead of this. You could have another card of tanks. So you could have either 2 more M1A1s, or, you know, 5 more M60s, or, you know, maybe even a CV, or a plane. But yeah, if you buy in 6 of these, then it makes sense. In terms of so I prefer the cheaper Recon Helo. This does have a Hellfire on it. It makes it super good. It just, if people see this, they are drawn like moths to the flame, and they will try and kill it, and they will usually succeed because it's got 4 HP. So you can really only use this if you have a fighter up at that moment, because otherwise they're just going to dive it, and even if you have the fighter up, sometimes they'll kill it anyway with one of their side missiles or whatever. AA Pivad Stinger Eyehawks very normal. You'll notice these are at 1 vet, which I think is fair enough. Helis, so this is anti-infantry, this is anti-vehicle, it's very normal. And then 2 cards of fighters, which is probably a good idea, frankly. Although this is a lot better than it used to be. And then an A-10 and the LGBT. But yeah, instead of this, I have the Wild Weasel. I tried in my tournament game, which I haven't covered or anything, I probably should. I brought the Raven in it instead of the Wild Weasel, and it was a huge mistake. If I brought the Wild Weasel, I think that game would have gone a lot better for me. So his opponent's playing the same div, and so, you know, the main things to note here are... so he has actually brought the M60. So he's gone mainly for fire teams instead of mech rifles, which I think is a mistake, actually. So that the fire team law, sure, it's cheap, but it's only got 6 strength. Whereas the mech rifles law, for 20 points more, gets 3 more guys. Actually, is that worth it? 20 points for 3 guys? Probably not, actually. Interesting. 20 points for 3 guys. It's probably not worth it. It's very difficult to keep squads of 6 HP alive. And you'll note he's not brought the military police or anything. We'll see how this works, because I'm interested in how this is going to work out. But the mech rifles are probably just going to win. They have 3 more guys, but because the fire team law is better moving because they're both M249s, whereas the M240 Bravo can only fire when stationary. So that is a problem. And then yeah, Rangers Dragon, no heliborn guys at all. I think it's nice to have one. So one of these should be in a Blackhawk basically. Sometimes you need a helicopter there, and then you can use the Blackhawk to scout. Just fly over stuff. If it gets shot, then you can sell it. No mortar for smoke is really, really rough. And that's because he's just brought a Guerrillion tanks. No M60s. I would have M60s here. And then, you know, maybe a would card of M1s anyway. But yeah, the M60s are very nice for the early game because you can get them out quite quickly. The meta is no longer about heavy tanks. You can still play heavy tank divs and win, but it's mainly about medium tanks because you can use them faster. You can buy them faster. You can build up faster. Whereas you find with heavy tank divs, you can lose because it takes you too long. But the thing is, there's really only 2 heavy tank only divs. In fact, there's really only 1, and it's 3rd armored because 119Y gets the TO55s, which you should be buying at the start, near the start. So Recon, so he's also gone for double Bradley. I wonder if these two are friends or what, because the decks are quite similar. The Scout should really... I prefer him in the ACAV. You've already got a wheeled guy, right? And no Recon Helo. This isn't as good as the Pivads. People look at it and they're like, oh, it's better because whatever, right? The aim time is the same now, but it's got less accuracy. And the accuracy does matter because if you're dealing... Because like whatever damage you deal is multiplied by the accuracy. So if you're dealing 10 damage and it's 35% accuracy, you're actually dealing 3.5 damage. And if you're dealing 10 damage and it's 20% accuracy, you're actually dealing, 2 damage. So it's got, almost double the damage for 10 points more. Not quite double the damage, but almost. But yeah, it used to be that because the Pivads basically has a radar, but they took the radar tag off because it's not a proper radar, even though there's lots of other things in the game which are not a proper radar. But anyway, so that meant that it lost its radar tag, so it can't be seeded anymore. But its aim time went up. It used to have a 1 second aim time, which made it like way better than the CS. Now it's a lot closer actually, and you only get 1 more of them, right? And one vet they're the same. So anyway. Hog, Toe Cobra, same. And then, okay, so he's gone mainly for the F-16 clusters. I mean, it can work. The main advantage of it is that it reloads in a minute. It's not actually that good at, like, this will not one-shot an M1 Abrams. It's just it reloads in a minute. So if you can get the Weasel out ahead of it, you can get these really slinging off quite quickly. The disadvantage, of course, is that it won't actually kill him unless he's already wounded. But having 4 of them with a Wild Weasel can probably be pretty scary. Problem is, if the enemy has an infantry breakthrough, these aren't going to do much good, but they'll still do a bit. They'll still stun the squad, suppress the squad, and then it'll be back in a minute. So, it's an interesting idea, actually. I'm excited to see the game. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the map briefly. I do believe that blue is on the better side because of this building here. This building here and this building here. But some people think the red side's better because it can be quite easy to take Papa and hold it because you come straight down this road and then you basically you take this and then you just sit there and then they can't get in here anymore. They have to like unload here, which you can see them doing and shoot them, or at least see them, right? You can see them doing that. Because you can see on both sides, and then they've got to like run through here. So that's pretty rough. Whereas blue, if they're trying to take Alpha, if they get up to here, well, okay, they can see Alpha, but the stuff can still come in, right? And there's like this tracking, there's this building here where you can put an ATGM and shoot them. So yeah, some people say it's a little bit better for red as a result of that. Because the thing is, right, if you try and path stuff up to here, it doesn't recognize... this road. So yeah, if you're on blue side and you try and buy something for here, it'll come down here and get shot because this road isn't joined. And so yeah, if red gets up to here, they just cut off this zone entirely. Whereas on the other side, you know, it's still, you've cut it off a bit, but they're a lot closer, which can be a problem depending on what div you're playing. If you've not got much armor on your tanks and stuff, but they can still get in, right? Anyway, in terms of the division matchup, they're playing the same div, so let's cover the deployments. I've noticed neither of them gone for 2 cards of M60s, the OG strat. So, on the left, we got Verus with his LRS, a Bradley, and it looks like he wants to punch through to Oscar because there's a lot here. We've got an Ihawk unloading in the open here. And you want to unload it on the reverse side of some trees. Fire team laws, but not unloading. A CS, not a Pivads. Most people go for the Pivads. And the M1 Abrams CV going straight through Ligma. Then we got the M60s, which honestly are quite useful. He's actually put 3 here, which, I mean, okay. I'd put 1 and a fire team 84 or something. Because, like, if they bring a tank up, even if you got 3... Oh, no, one of them was a tow too. Oh, my bad. I was going to say, like, if something can kill 1 M60, it's probably going to kill more than 1 M60. But no, one of them's a tow too. Then we've got another 30 cal Ranger's Dragon, another CS, some scouts, but they're going to here, but they're coming down the main road to do it. And then a CV for Bravo Alpha, and then on the far right we've got only 2 units, an LRS and a Bradley, although I suppose there's a bunch of guys here going to Alpha. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got Super Pershing, and he's open with an F-16. We'll see if... So, basically, he's open with this helicopter, which has the Hellfires. His opponent hasn't got a Helo Recon, which I think is a mistake. So, this can stop forward deployments, but it's super expensive, and the enemy can just send a plane and kill it. So you have to buy a plane with it if you're going to buy this. The other way to do it is buy the regular recon plane, an A-10 and F-16, but that is more expensive, but you've got more mobility. A-10's a bit more powerful, it can take a hit, this will die in 1 hit. So, LRS on the left, LRS going for here, and LRS on the right, going straight into X-ray, so you might get X-ray there at the start. Behind that, a military police for Papa, and then a cheapo CV for India Papa. So yeah, you'll notice that his opponent has got very expensive CVs here, whereas Super Pershing can afford to buy 2 CVs for only 40 points each, so the price of 1 car. He's actually only bought 1. Okay, that's fair enough. I guess he needed this supply very badly or something. So yeah, Jet, and then LRS on the right, so that's going quite aggressively. He is going to run into the enemy there. Oh, another 120 pointer. So this thing will probably get loads of kills, but you got to look at like the roads and stuff, and you always want to have it like behind some cover, so that if a plane comes, you can press land, and you would decrease your altitude, and you'd get behind, and then they shouldn't hit you. So you've got like, while it's from here to there, you're a bit safer, right? Because they should break LOS. It's just a small difference, but it can help a lot. We got Pink Floyd here, or George Floyd, depending on how controversial you're planning on being. Supply, Mech Rifles Dragon, and yeah, the ACAV we spoke about. So let's see what happens. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They're the guys keeping this channel alive. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. He did open with the A-10. This is a strat I like to do quite a bit. F-16 A-10 Recon Helo. I don't know, because I don't think I ever put it in a video, so can't say you got it from me. This was one of the OG ones from, like... So 8th was the 3rd division added to the game, because it was 3rd Armoured and 79Y. And then it was... oh, he's going to get that LRS, but you see how fast the missile is. If you're not paying attention, it will kill you. So there you go. This has almost paid for itself. So he got the A-10 and the 2 expensive helos. So it's a very all-in strategy. But you'll note that, you know, Red should buy a jet right now and come kill this A-10, because otherwise this A-10 is going to kill all his units. And he just got his income. But he's not doing it, and so... Oh no, that CS is probably going to evac him now. Yeah, because it'll get a really nice burst on him. And then, oh, he's just avoided being evac'd. But yeah, the I-Hawk went down to this Kiowa. Oh, and then he lost the Abrams CV, he lost the AA. Well, it's going very, very badly for Verus here. I keep calling him Versus. This LRS just let him drive past without killing him, and now he's in the open and he's in cover. Although all the Humvees are dying. This LRS came in. There you go, there's the plane. So if you're in Blue's situation, as soon as that minute tick went down, he should have bought another F-16. Because you would expect the enemy to buy a jet. The thing is, it took him a full minute to spend his income. Because he's about to get another minute's income, and then he will probably buy another jet. But the thing is, it took him a full minute to even spend it in the first place. So either way, that's gone really, really bad for Red there. Very ballsy strategy from Blue. Really went all in on the highly plane thing, because if you think about it, this is 240, the plane's about 240, and the other plane's about 240. So, rough estimates, he spent about half his income on that funny air thing. And so if your enemy opens a fighter of his own, or two fighters of his own, then you lose the game. But he opened 0 fighters, and then he didn't even buy one for ages. So he managed to scare off the A-10 after it killed everybody. And he could have just bought another one here and killed these two, immediately pay for yourself, that's 240 points. And what Blue should have done in that situation is, as soon as that minute tick went down, he should have bought another plane to keep all this going, otherwise it can die. The issue with that, of course, is that then you've got very, very little on the ground, but he's killed most things. So yeah, this is going to X-ray now. I guess he doesn't want to take chances, but yeah, this would be open. Oh, okay, so the main issue is that, which can actually still shoot him when he comes over here, so because this is a fast path, so it'll actually still come down here and turn. Anyway, you don't want these right next to each other because one missile can kill them both. But it looks pretty good for Blue. So he's got a Mutt CV. He could have bought the other one of these, but this is twice the price, but it's also faster. And that will get Oscar and then presumably Ligma. And yeah, that's just how I like to do it with as soon as the minute goes down, you buy the next plane, just to keep that momentum going. Otherwise, they do tend to buy a plane and kill you. I should probably cast that tournament game. Because, yeah, I played 8th recently in a tournament, a 1v1 tournament, against the current rank 2. So Axis, he calls himself Highlander at the moment. And in that, I bought a plane in it. I did a similar opener, but with the regular one. Anyway, it clusters out for the Bradley, and the thing is, it can also kill this on its way past. So, whoa, that was fortunate. That had a 65% chance to kill him. And he's not landing. But I don't understand why he didn't drop his bombs or anything. I guess he's... Oh, okay, here you go. He's worried about this. Has this landed? I suppose the issue is if you land it, it can drop its bombs on it. And he's worried about I-Hawks, I suppose. So yeah, we spotted in the deck review that he had 4 of these cluster planes, which come up in a minute, and there you go. So it can just kill you on its way past. It's got 30% ECM, and these are very nice missiles. These guys have the same. This is the second best short-range AA missile in the game. But yeah, he does get clipped there. 2 fighters you would expect to beat 2 bombers, even if they are multi-role. But look at this, 3rd fighter's out. This is the issue with fighting near the enemy spawn, is that he's going to be able to get another plane out faster. Bradley versus Bradley, they both kill each other. That's pretty expected. Ah, yes, the CV here, it did die to the TOW 2. So what he can do is send this in, and then send it back over there, right? See, there's 3 on this side. And yeah, Red's just playing reactively now, he lost so much of his opener, and it's a mirror. Generally, when I play mirrors, I play super defensively, because the enemy's playing the same div as me, so all I have to do is win on trades, and then I should just win. But I went for the opposite approach here, and it seems to be paying off for him. Because yeah, Red, he's not really got enough guys to attack, right? He's got, a lot of these M60s, which aren't really for attacking, and ATGMs aren't really for attacking. He's got a 1 HP LRS here, which is probably just going to kill this now because it's been sent on a very Yep. Very aggressive angle there. Well, he might lose the LRS as a result of that. No, will he get out? Oh, last volley, Ramirez. No, he doesn't. So this is 45, plus the vehicle, and he doesn't bring the military police vehicle, 65. The LRS is 80, so that was actually a good trade for blue. Because, yeah, the LRS is very important. So this guy is still hanging out here, waiting to get shot. And, oh, it's actually the next one, isn't it? So this is the issue with these. Right, that's dead now, and that was 120 points, and one that died before was 120 points, and, you know, now he's out of recon healers, so it's pretty rough. I wouldn't have left that there. I would have pulled it back and hid it somewhere, landed it there or something. Well, okay, that's what you should do. I probably would have left it there and lost it. So, +2 for blue, and it should be more, really, because it should be a +4 because he'll take X-ray. Yeah, and red, he keeps spying the planes, so the I-Hawk purchase is quite intelligent. You could probably put it up here. You don't need to put it there. You own all this, so you can just put it here. Don't sell the transport, right? And so he buys another helicopter so he can get shot by the planes again. Third time lucky, right? Come on. You saw what happened to the last two you put here. You just immediately buy a third one. So it's a shame. But yeah, this guy got hit by a Stinger. The cluster's coming around for it, though, and it's probably going to kill it. Yeah, and there it goes. So, you know, don't reinforce failure. But he does get a plane out of it, so that was actually a good trade for him because the hog was 125 and the plane was 230. So, all's well that ends well, I guess. But he is losing stuff here, and if he hadn't bought helos and instead had bought, you know, even like helo deployed infantry, like a ranger, because he's got rangers or something, that would be cool. So he's going for the Stinger, which moved after it fired, which is very, very intelligent. And the I-Hawk does actually hit it. And now he's got to move the I-Hawk as well. Because look, it's been pinged. As soon as AA shoots at you, particularly something big like an I-Hawk, so it's kind of easy to see. The Stingers are a bit harder to see the trails. You just hit F1 and click, and then it'll ping it, and then you'll know where it is. And you'd be surprised at how many people don't move their AA after he shoots. Obviously, the good players move it, right? You can see him moving it there. But it tends to be that they'll move it, and I'm guilty of this as well. They'll move it most of the time, and then they'll forget once, and then it dies. So that's the idea. The other thing you can do is have two bombers, and the first one bombs the target, and the second one waits for the AA to shoot, and then bombs the AA. Or you can do it. Use a seed for the same effect. Send the seed first. Depends how much attention the enemy's playing. But there's a lot of RNG on the air game. It can be quite frustrating, actually. I do find it quite frustrating. But yeah, I mean, Red, he sort of picked his battle. He really wants Lima back. And this is probably the hardest one for him to take. Because there's just a big field here. And so, as long as there's 80... Although he has got this, so that, you know, blue can't get somebody in here. But, you know, get an M60 in there. Move the I-Hawk up to here. The supply. And he's got a CV with the I-Hawk to buff up the I-Hawk. So that's pretty smart. So if the CV isn't capturing a zone, you put it on your artillery. Yeah, heavy artillery. There's no point putting it on a mortar. So, okay, fourth time lucky on the helicopter. Just keeps putting him in the same place. And the same... Look, whoa! This is so surprising! I had no idea this would happen. I had no idea that he would try and kill the helo. And, was that two I-Hawks there? This should go down, really. Although now the cluster's coming for it. Ah, I see, that's going for the I-Hawks. Although it gets hit by the fighter. I-Hawks have been switched off because of the seed. This is why you hotkey them. You put them, select them both. Control 1, hit H to turn off weapons. H is for hold fire, I guess. And then, you know, they have no... It's not like Broken Arrow where they take time to turn off and back on, which is a much superior system, frankly. So that's a pretty good kill. Although he should really turn away from the thing. Yeah, because there's no AA here, so... Probably get evac'd, yeah. So yeah, you can just turn it off while the seat's facing you and then immediately turn it back on when it turns away. But what you'll note is that... So a lot of players will have you know, two planes, one right behind the other. You shoot at the first plane, the second one bombs you. I should really cast that tournament game. That happened in the tournament game. I lost one of my Eyehawks because he flew his fighters out first. I did eventually kill all his fighters, but well, I don't want to spoil the game, which I haven't cast. But that was the last time I played 8th. I always have these big plans of like I'll play this div for 10 times and then I'll make a guide. And what happens is I play it 10 times and then I'm like, I'll make the guide tomorrow, and then I just forget. And now it's been like months since I played those 10 games of 8th. And, you know, it's like, well, you should go back through it, but I can't remember what happened in all those games, so I gotta watch them all again, and I just can't be bothered, really. It's a big shame, big shame. But yeah, I think 8th is a pretty strong div now, especially with those Black Hawk changes. That helps quite a lot, actually. And the F-16 changes, and the mech rifles changes. I'm quite proud of what we've managed to accomplish. Obviously, you know, who knows? Who knows who made most of these decisions? Um, I didn't make the Black Hawk one, I'll put it that way. But you know, don't hate on Strike Team for everything. They do it for free. So it looks like that M60 is going to go down. It's quite unfortunate that it ran into that LRS there, though. You'd still expect the Abrams to win. And, yeah, he's going to get the zone, and then it'll only be a +2, but it is still a +2. And there is fighting going on over here. You see this guy's been wounded. These guys have been wounded. But it's hard for either side to push here because you got to walk through this, and then you get shot from the side, basically. So you basically have to take the side first, and while you're taking the side, you're getting shot from here. So it's not so easy. But yeah, one thing to watch out for is, you know, don't overextend yourself in that, right? So he's had this zone for a while, +4, but now he's lost it. Last thing you want to do is have the enemy just completely break through and take the other one immediately. Yes, the M1 Abrams will beat the M60. Should really be smoking, but he has chosen death. And so what can happen is, like, all these guys end up dying one at a time, and then this can get all the way through to here. So you got to be very, very careful. Like, so this guy should just give up on that fight and go hide here, basically. This guy can be, like, there. Because, yeah, you're not going to kill an M1 with an M60, as we've noticed. But here we go, LGBT's out. That will definitely do it. And Red's been... This needs to be back. Red's been relying mainly on his fighters, and here they are. They're probably going to get him, actually. No, they don't. Okay. Although the Eyehawks don't get him either, and the Stinger, so all's fair. But yeah, what you can do is leave this circling around here, as opposed to oh, he's doing it right now. You can see him doing it in real time. Sadly, there's no loiter command, but no, he got a bit close there. I didn't evac him. But yeah, at this point, this would not be coming over here. This should be going to there, or even here, because this is lost. And it's very difficult, because obviously we can see everything. But it's very difficult to get into that kind of mindset of, like, when to fall back. And that's the difference between a good player and a great player, and it's something I'm still very much working on. When to fall back. Because if you fall back in good order, you don't lose all your units. But if you fall back in bad, you know, but you might kill enemy units. Anyway, so yeah, there's a few, but this guy should obviously not be going all the way to there, but he shouldn't even be going to here. He should pull back into this town area, but instead he's not paying attention, so that's probably going to die. And that's because he's pushing over here, where he just got side shot by a Dragon 2 and a Tow 2, so that didn't work out. That's the issue with coming up here. You got to sort of get the tanks over here and then around, or up to here or something. Coming down mid, you can do it. It's just risky because of that. So he's looking for targets for the A-10. Eyehawks and Stingers and stuff are over here. But look at what's happening now. Red can push all the way through this if he wants to. That's what there is an M60 there. But, you know, it's got 1 HP. And the rest is just Eyehawks. Bradley here is important. So, Seed's back out. A-10 gets the Bradley, maybe? Something got the Bradley. And it got that 50 cal. And yeah, the CS is just not as good as the Pivots. Just doesn't deal as much damage. Ooh, Eyehawk. Seed misses because it's the Shrike, which is terrible. Well, yeah, 2 versus 1. And he actually still got that Wild Weasel. Although, you know, there was a advantage on the ground. What he could have done is unloaded this. right there, and it might have shot, but maybe it's out of ammo, who knows. Can't check. This is out of ammo. And yeah, so Verus, he needs to keep pushing, I suppose. But then he's sort of lost on this side, so he's buying an M1, and this is where the M60s are so much more useful. He doesn't actually have them in his deck, because you can get an M60 here, an M60 here, an M60 here. It's the Sherman argument, right? Where it's like the Sherman, it wasn't the best tank, but the point was that it was easy to make, so they had loads of them. And so even though, yes, one Tiger beats one Sherman, yes, but one Tiger doesn't beat 5 Sherman, right? Unless it's Fury, in which case... And so it's about cost efficiency, and that's why the mediums are seen as better. Heavy tanks, the prices have gone up a lot over the course of the game's life cycle. They have come down a little bit, like 5-10 points since then. But the idea is that you can't have heavy tanks everywhere. It can still work as a strategy, right? It's just not as... Well, it's easy to lose them to a plane, and then it's like, well, it's one over, right? Here we go, so seed cluster, so this is pretty good airplay here. So the seed lights it up, and then the cluster kills it, right? And the seed, the seed, like, soaks the shot, so I suppose it... And then, yeah, you send out the next cluster. It's interesting, actually, these clusters. Maybe I should try it. So of the LGBT that I've got, or the A-10, just get 4 of those. Because... Oh, well, then I can't do the A-10 opener, which I do like doing. But even 2 of those might be better than 1 LGBT. The LGBT's obviously got more infantry capacity, but reloads in 2 minutes per... Because it's 4 minutes if you drop all the bombs, I believe. Because it drops 2 at once. I can't remember, one of them does, one of them doesn't. Oh, yeah, that was not ideal. This is very dead. So, yeah. I mean, he should have known about that, because his A-10 got shot by it before, but... You know, you can forgive him this small mistake, he is winning. But look at this, right? He has been broken through. This is on low altitude, which is very intelligent, because it means that these stingers can't shoot it, unless it gets into... You know, once this gets to there, it will be able to. Oh no, but when he stands up, he will go up to high altitude, and then he'll die. Oh, this is not good. You got to give it movements below 400 meters, and then it will stay on low altitude. And you can't shift-click the move orders. I should do a guide on that, actually. It's one of the dumber parts of the game. There is a way around it. By doing a move or shift queuing a move order, then an attack move order, then a move order, then an attack move order. This is so dead, man, but this thing isn't firing. You'd expect it to hit. It's got really nice accuracy. There it goes, yeah. That's a shame. I'm not sure why he did that. This should just be hidden here. Because he's very much in danger of losing mid. Like, Red has managed to turn it around. So this should be hiding here. But, you know, in the flip side, Red has lost here. Lots of tanks here, but no Eyehawks, because the Eyehawks were here and they are dead. So this is going to be very, very bad for blue. yeah, and they're all dead. And you notice he put the cluster on, not the heavy tank. So if it's got 3 top armor, this isn't killing it in one volley. Yeah, I'm going to have to try those cluster planes instead of the LGBT. It's a really good idea, actually. But then he's got 2 cards, and I've only got 1 card. I could try running 2 cards of supply, maybe, although I do like having 3. It's recently been revealed to me that if you switch off fuel... Say recently, it was about 3 months ago. If you switch off the fuel on all of them, they last a lot longer. Because you don't really... Usually you don't need to refuel these guys, and it's just draining all your supply points. Because, you know, they tend not to run out of fuel, but they have a very high reserve of fuel. So if they use up loads of fuel, it just drains your supply, even though they never would have run out anyway, because most of the... When you buy some, it's using fuel to get to the front line, right? So, must have something to do with... Because, like, there must be a... Look how much faster this is going down than this. But yeah, if a tank gets to the front line, like, most of this will have been lost getting to the front line. Once it's actually there, you don't lose that much. And so you don't need that much. And so it's quite rare to actually run out. It can happen, at which point you just turn the fuel thing back on. But otherwise, you can get away with 2 cards of supply in a lot of cases where I didn't used to be able to. So this will not... yeah, I was going to say, I think you have to change the right-click or cancel the right-click if you want it to fire the Mavericks if you've got it right-clicked on some infantry. So the Eyehawk is all the way back there. Should really get moved up, but... Yeah, Red, he's pushing through, but there's only 3 minutes left, and this is going to be a +4 again. Stinger should probably hide behind something. Like, Red can push this back, because all the tanks died. So, cluster playing, going for the Mech Rifles Dragon. So yeah, even though it's not as effective against infantry, you know, it stuns them, and so it can achieve the intended purpose. It's probably going to lose it there, though. Yeah, I'm going to have to try that. If I've got time after casting this game, I'll try it out. Obviously, it won't be in this video, right? But it's an interesting idea. Maybe I could try 2 cards of supply and just run 4 of them and try air spamming with the 8th. It's one of those divs where you can actually build it in a couple different ways, which isn't common, sadly. The div... Oh, look, he's going for the CV here. He's got some nice vision. Somehow. What? The supply... What? Oh, yeah, it's got a 4-minute reload. There you go. But this will one-shot a heavy tank. But it's only 1 per card, so that's the disadvantage of it, that you can lose it like that. So it is pretty rough. Higher risk, higher reward, I suppose. There you go, you got the Siege with 2 shots, 2 hits. Sometimes it be like that, you know? And other times you can fire loads and not hit them. Like what happened back here, but... Yeah, it is what it is. So, I mean, Red, he's got control of the game, but he needs a CV in a zone, like, right now, or he's going to lose the game. He is currently winning in terms of the positions. Like, he killed all the enemy tanks. Blue did a little bit of overextending, right? He's got this zone, but he actually needs to put CVs in. So he's bought 2 CVs, and yeah, one's going for Alpha and one's going for X-Ray, and he would need X-Ray completely on his side to stop the tick. Otherwise, because if he takes Alpha, it just goes for +2. I don't think he's got time. Oh yeah, this is another thing. Never use them just over the water like that, because you can't land it. So if a plane comes for it, you can't do anything. So you never want to use them right over trees either, if you can avoid it. Sometimes you can't avoid it, because you can't land on the trees, so it will try and path outside the trees, and so that will take extra time. Yeah, this guy, he's just trying to buy time, and so this is dead, but there you go, just out of time. It didn't quite die, because he surrendered. But yeah, it was a really interesting game, actually. It just came down to that opening. Verus wasn't ready for the opening, but he was pulling it back. It's just he wasn't fast enough. So this is Super Pershing, also known as Serious Raw, rank 314. And this is Verus, rank 218. 500 games and 300 games. I thought they had a pretty good... I thought they played quite well for people with so few games. They must watch my videos, right? Everybody who watches my videos does very well, but just came down to... the opener for Blue won him the game. Otherwise, I think Red was pulling it back. I mean, he is the higher ranked player. You saw that there. They've both got pretty high win rates, actually. Okay, 62 isn't as high as 80. This guy would probably be higher if he just played more. Because, you know, your MMR has to... If you keep winning 80% of the time, it's going to keep going up, right? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that one. And I'll see you in the next one. GG.